What's up, you guys? This is your girl Yo Yo. Welcome back to Kicking It with Yo Yo. I am here to bring you another review. This is my recap on tonight's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 10, Episode 6. All aboard the Petty or Shady Express or something is the title. And I have a lot to say about tonight's episode. So let's go ahead and get into this review. Okay, so this episode starts off exactly where we left off last week with Nene and Portia going at it. Nene is basically telling her that she should have been punished for what she did to Candy. And basically telling Portia that Candy was there for her just like she was there for her, and she did her wrong just like she did Nene wrong. And a lot of people seem to forget that when Portia became friends with Phaedra and Phaedra stopped talking to Nene, Portia also stopped talking to Nene and then began to throw a lot of shade her way, just as she did with Candy last season. So, the girls are basically pulling Nene away and trying to defuse the situation. And Nene is basically telling Portia, I paved the way for you. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be on this damn show. Blase, blase. It was just basically a screaming match, and it was about everybody trying to win the argument. Like, nobody was trying to resolve anything. So all the girls did leave with Nene, and the only one left at the table was Portia and Sheree. And Portia kind of breaks down a little bit, and she's saying that she doesn't want to be the victim. But here's my issue with Portia. I like Portia. I really do like Portia. But I feel as though Portia does not take accountability for the things that she has done. Yes, she gave Candy an apology at the reunion, but I don't think that she has taken the time to actually sit down with Candy and explain to her why she chose to take part in it, or, really giving her a genuine apology. People have a lot to say about Candy because Candy's just not here for it. And what people seem to forget is that whole lie that Portia and Phaedra started, or whatever, however you want to put it, that could have been really damaging to Candy's career. It could have been damaging to Candy's brand. It could have been damaging to her as a person, because I remember on last season on the reunion, Candy was saying that people were commenting on her page, calling her Bill Cosby and things of that nature. So people keep saying, oh, well, Candy just needs to get over it because it didn't hurt her career. It didn't damage her brand. But at the same time, you can't tell somebody when or when not to get over something. Like, that has to be what that person, it takes time. You as a person, just because you feel like you would have gotten over it, you can't say, oh, she need to get over it, or she don't need to hold a grudge, or Portia's sorry, she's apologized. Just because she says she's sorry doesn't mean it's genuine. So Portia says everybody in the group wants to break her down. I don't believe that to be true. I feel like at this point, everybody saw how malicious she was to Candy last season. And you can't sit here and tell me just because she didn't spread the rumor, she was very nasty to Candy, especially when they were in Hawaii, and in her confessionals, she was very mean and nasty to Candy, somebody that she considered a friend, because of something that Portia, that Phaedra was telling her. And I feel like if Portia was really Candy's friend, then the whole, when Phaedra first brought the information to her, she would have texted her or called her like, listen, I know we're not on the best terms right now, but this is what somebody just told me. Like, and we wouldn't even have to go the whole season with questioning, was it true, was it not true, and things of that nature. Um, And when we flash back to the room, Nene is upset because she feels as though Portia won't admit to anything. Nene says she's done a lot for Portia. And while I get what Nene was trying to say, like if you are helping somebody and it's coming from a genuine place, you shouldn't want for anybody to kiss your ass because of what you have done for them in the past. You should do it out of the kindness of your heart. And while I feel like Nene likes people to give her praise, and I feel like Portia is just not in a space where she's not gonna kiss her ass. But at the same time, Portia, none of these girls wanted to film with you this season. Like this is the very first time we've seen all the girls together, especially on a trip this season. And even though we are early on in the season, that just goes to show you that Portia, won't nobody really feeling you, boo. Like, and it's because of what you did. That was malicious. That was a malicious rumor that was spread about Candy, and it just was not right, in my opinion. So Marlo says that she feels like somebody should sit down with Portia one-on-one and basically explain to her why everybody feels the way they feel. And while I think that may be a good idea, there's only 2 people in the group as of now that Portia has issues with, and that is Nene and Candy. So you saw how the blow up with her and Nene went. So imagine them one-on-one, and I just think Candy is just over it. Like, she don't got nothing for Portia, and I, for one, don't blame her. So then we go back to Portia and Sheree. Portia says she's never said anything bad about Nene on Dish Nation. She said something was brought up to her. I think the brat brought it up. I don't remember the whole interview on what was said because I do not watch Dish Nation. But I think she said something about not wanting negative people in her space. But I don't know if that was all Portia said, because I don't think that Nene would be that upset for Portia to say she don't want negative people in her circle, but I don't know. Portia says that Nene has messed her over, and she has messed everybody over, and says, why should I be disciplined, and have you been disciplined for everything that you've done? And I 100% agree with Portia, because Nene has been into it with everybody on the show as well as Portia. So I feel like if you're going to hold Portia to a certain standard, then Nene, you need to hold yourself to a certain standard too, because you've done the same things that Portia has done. Maybe the whole thing from last season, that was the biggest thing that anybody has seen in a Housewives franchise that could have been very damaging. But when it comes to being nasty and malicious, Nene, you have been that as well. So if you're going to say Portia needs to be disciplined, then Nene, you need to be disciplined too. And while I feel like Portia absolutely should have been disciplined, Phaedra was fired. I think at least Portia should have gotten demoted, or Portia should have gotten her pay docked or something, because no, she didn't start the rumor, but she believed the rumor, and she, based off of what Phaedra told her, antagonized Candy the whole season 9. So Candy says nothing will ever make her like Portia again. I think Candy is just to the point where Candy is one of those people, once you show me who you are, I'm going to believe you. And like, while I can be in the same room with you and we can be cordial, things are not just gonna go back to how they used to be with us. Like, we're not gonna hang out, we're not gonna do birthday parties, and we're not gonna do, go out to eat together and things of that nature. We're gonna strictly film, and when the season is over, you go your way, I go mine. And Portia has nobody to blame but herself and Phaedra for that. Um so the ladies get on the trolley. I think they are going to do a little sightseeing, and some of the ladies decide to go to Fisherman's something, and then the other ladies go to Chinatown. Sheree thinks it's a good idea to split the group after what happened at dinner and the whole blow up, and she says she's nervous that for Nene and Portia to be in the same space. So when they standing outside waiting on the trolley to come, Nene hugs everybody but Portia. Now that was shady. And like Nene said in her green screen, she said, "I'm like Cardi B. If I don't speak, that means I don't mess with you. Like, that's just what it is. Like, hey, I'm here for it." So Kenya shows the ladies the video of that she made for her grandmother. And it was just a very touching moment on the trolley to see everybody kind of rally around Kenya. And then Portia then has her own moment because her uncle had recently passed, and so she can kind of feel what King is going through. And I think Portia low-key wanted to try to embrace Kenya, but she didn't know how it would be received, so she didn't. She kind of separated herself from the ladies and had her moment, and it was just good to see Cynthia go and check on her. And all the ladies to me looked concerned, like, well, what happened? Like, is Portia okay? And that was just very good to see. It kind of takes me back to when all the ladies got along, because even though they throw shade and things of that nature, I think they did have a genuine bond outside of just filming and working together. So Portia made a good point also when she said she wants everybody to take their mind off the BS, put the BS behind them, just so they can all be there for one another and lean on each other when they're going through those kind of times. And that was a very good point for her to make, and a very good thing for her to say, because that's what it's all about. If you don't have anybody that you consider your friends, and even though you may not be friends off the camera, it's just you ladies have worked together for several years. So there's a bond that has developed between, the ladies of this show. And so I'm hoping this season, they can kind of get back to that. So Cynthia basically tells Portia, she had her own issues with Nene, and Nene just basically wants Portia to admit to her wrongs and apologize for the things that she has said or done. And Portia needs to kind of forgive her and move on like Cynthia did. And I agree with what Cynthia was saying, but at the same time, the instances are different. Like when Cynthia and Nene stopped talking, I think it was because Nene called Peter the B word, and then with Portia and Nene, there were things they did to each other versus just one person doing something and then the other person doing nothing. Because I feel like when Nene and Cynthia fell out, Cynthia didn't do anything wrong. I feel like Nene just took it there with Cynthia. So Cynthia, Nene, Kenya, and Candy split from the other ladies. They want to go shopping, and the other ladies are going to Chinatown. So Candy basically asked Nene about Sheree's new convict boo. And Nene says he's a con artist, and he conned some company out of $4 million. And I was like, good Lord, have mercy. Like, what kind of con? Like, she got Apollo reloaded out here. And then in her Candy says, well, I hope you don't try to con her out of Chateau Sheree. And Kenya like, oh, child, don't worry about it. It ain't her name anyway. That was some shade because the house is in, it's Chateau Thelma, not Chateau Sheree. So and Sheree, and Portia are out shopping in Chinatown. And Marlo says that they should do something nice for Kenya because she's been going through a lot, with everybody kind of scrutinizing her wedding and then losing her grandmother. So they want to do something to make her happy. So they have the bright idea to throw her a wedding since none of them were invited to her real wedding. So they get to the little conference room where they're gonna have the mock wedding, and Candy's asking Marla like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna, do a wedding, and we're waiting on the groom." And Candy's like, Mark's here? Like, Mark's coming? Like, it's kind of strange that, he didn't, according to Kenya, he didn't want to be around the girls and things of that nature. So him showing up is surprising to Candy. And then Portia comes in with a cardboard box with a cardboard Mark. And Candy's like, seriously? Like, Candy really thought that Kenya's husband was showing up. The group is not really sure how Kenya's gonna take the whole mock wedding, but they hope that she will be receptive to it, like she wanted Phaedra and Cynthia to be receptive when she threw that divorce party last season. So then Kenya and Cynthia show up, and Kenya, she's laughing and, she's having a good time. She didn't take it the wrong way. And she says, it got her smiling and it made her happy. That the girls would take their time, just to try to put a smile on her face. So it's kind of like a mission accomplished. So then Portia pulls Candy to the side, and she once again apologizes for the role she played in everything last season. Now, once again, what Portia and Phaedra did to Candy was wrong. 150%, it was wrong. You don't do that to somebody and then expect for an apology to make everything better. Now, I get Portia trying to move on or trying to show Candy that, hey, I'm really sorry and I didn't mean to hurt you. I know you were hurt. But my thing is, it seemed to me that Portia didn't want to apologize until she realized that you're basically on an island by yourself. Like, and while everybody supported Candy once it came out, a lot of people are also scrutinizing Candy for still being upset. And I don't think Candy's so much upset as she is, when you think somebody's really your friend, and they, start something like that about you, that's hurtful. Like, if it was shade, it would have been different. I think if the whole thing about Candy being a lesbian, if that was the only thing, I think Candy would be more receptive to the apology and to rebuilding her friendship with Portia. But when you enter drugs and rape, like those are very serious allegations when it comes to somebody that lives their life in the public eye. So you can't sit up here and say, oh, well, Candy just need to get over it. Or Candy, she throw her shade too. They all throw it. Nobody's saying that Candy doesn't throw shade, but she's never once you know, what's the word I'm looking for? She's never once accused somebody of something so damaging and something so that could hurt somebody, not only publicly but legally. Because what if people that saw the show that wanted to hurt Candy started coming forward and saying, oh yeah, Candy and Todd tried to drug and rape me too? Like, then it would have been a whole nother issue. So yes, I feel where Candy's coming from. And even though I am Team Candy, I like Portia. But I'm not gonna sit up here and act like what Portia did was okay and that Candy should just get over it. Because I'm not Candy. I don't know how Candy feels. This never happened to me. So I can't say, oh well, I would just be over it. It happened last season. You don't know that. And then the thing about it is, we also don't get to see everything that happens on camera. Things are edited out, things are taken out. So there could have been other things that were said, because there was a lot said about Candy, from her sleeping with Shamia to her having a 7-year relationship with she had a lesbian lover, to Candy's sleeping with everybody when she was in the industry, to her trying to drug and rape Portia. There were so many things that were said about her, and I'm pretty sure Candy's went back and watched those episodes. So yeah, I feel her. Like, and if her and Portia do rebuild something, it's gonna take time. It's not gonna happen in the span of one season, because I would feel like it would be fake if Candy said, oh yeah girl, I forgive you, we can be cool again, versus her still being upset and having the reactions that she's having. And even though Portia apologized, Candy was just like, I came here to have a good time with everybody, you know what I'm saying? So, let's just focus on that. And that's what it is. Like, right now, I can be in a group setting with you and be cordial, but as far as our relationship one-on-one, we're going to have to work on that. That's just point blank in the period. So the ladies get on the bus to go to Napa. They're going to go to a vineyard, do some wine tasting. So Portia goes to the bathroom, comes back, and the only seat left on the train is the one across from Candy and Portia and Kenya. And so she sits down, and at first it's kind of awkward, but then Candy says in her green screen, me sitting here not talking to her will make the situation even more uncomfortable. So, she's asking Candy about, how things are with Escape. And Candy's like, oh, we're about to go on tour. And she was like, girl, I was hoping that, we could get cool. So, because I want to go to one of them shows. And Candy was just like, girl, I ain't going to invite your ass. Like, and I don't think Kenny was more so being really serious at that moment. It was just kind of, I'm going to throw shade at you, but it's funny kind of shade. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, girl, bitch, I ain't going to invite. Like, it wasn't that. It was just like, girl, I won't plan to invite your ass anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't there. Like, don't try. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think Portia was very receptive to that. And then, she's telling Kenya and Candy that she's a vegan now. And they ask her how long she's been vegan, and she's like 3 weeks. And the girls laugh because they don't take her serious. Then Kenya's talk about her husband, and she says she had to realize that she cannot be a alpha female in her relationship, because her husband, he doesn't like for her to wear makeup. He doesn't like for her to I think, I'm not gonna say the word control, but I think that he likes what he likes, I'm assuming, and if she's with him, that means that she's gonna kind of submit to what he likes. Like, I think she said he wanted her to lose weight, and then when Portia was talking about her, you know, gained, she was 175 pounds, and then Candy was like, well, you was getting a little thick, you was a little heavy. Like, that was shade. But like I said, once again, Portia was receptive to it, but I feel like Candy got the right to throw all the shade she want to throw. But that's just me, my opinion. So then, at the other table, Sheree is talking about her boo, and she says, well, he's incarcerated, and Marlo like, oh girl, no, drop him, leave that jailbird alone. And I 100% agree. Like, Sheree, you're a beautiful woman. You do not have to settle for no man that's locked up behind bars. I'm sorry. So then Nene says, well, when he get out, he gonna be tricking. And Sheree like, what you talking about? And she said, tricking them stocks and bonds like he was that got him locked up. And that was the shade of all shade. And then Sheree gonna say, oh, well, he didn't get locked up for stocks and bonds. It was security fraud and something. But fraud is fraud, ma'am. Like, he stole from somebody under false pretenses. So yeah. So then Nene calls Candy over to the table, and she's asking her about her conversation with Portia, because Marlo heard that Portia apologized, and Candy said, yeah, she apologized, but I was just like, okay, girl, whatever. Like, we can be cordial, but we're not gonna be where we were, which makes perfect sense to me. So Kenyon's telling Portia about her husband, and then they get on the subject of her and the other ladies, and Kenya basically tells Portia, like, you have to take accountability for the role you played in hurting Candy, and with Phaedra, even though Phaedra was the one that carried it, Portia, you were still the one that said it, and you didn't say it in private. You said it on national TV. So I think had she said it in confidence to Candy, like, kind of pull her to the side or call her, or even went to the girl's house and said, look, girl, I got something I need to tell you. Like, I don't know if you're going to be cool or come out of a bag on me, but, this just what it is. I think it would have been, last season wouldn't have played out the way it did, in my opinion. So Kenya feels like instead of Portia just apologizing over and over and over, that she needs to put some action behind her words. And I 100% agree, because you can say things till you're blue in the face, but until you put some action behind it, nobody's gonna believe you, Mom. Like, you need more people. So then they get to the vineyard and vineyard, however you say it. And the ladies seem to be having a good time with each other. They're stomping grapes, and they're just laughing and joking with each other, and it was just a really great moment. Like I said, once again, it kind of took us back to when everybody got along before, there were sides being chosen and things of that nature. So then Kenya has to leave because she has to go to the funeral for her grandmother. So the ladies go to this beautiful winery or wine cell. Like, it was gorgeous. The dinner room they were in, it was absolutely beautiful. So they're sitting down and they're talking, and then Candy tells the ladies that when she did her photo shoot in New York, that Ty suggested they go by Kenya's husband's restaurant, and they show footage, and Candy's just like, no, I'm not going in there. Like, no, like, for one, Kenya ain't gonna kill me. But I think what she meant by that was more so Kenya is a private person. So I'm not going to snoop in her life. When she's ready for us to meet Mark, then we'll meet him. Um, so Candy says something to the effect of, don't you think it's, Kenya's really weird, or secretive. Her relationship is really weird, and the things that are going on with them. So Cynthia, gets upset and leaves when Marlo asks the group who thinks Kenya is married, and she says that she's not gonna sit around while they jump on Kenya. And I don't really think that's what Marlo was trying to do. I think Marlo was basically just asking a question, and yes, it was a messy question, but a question nonetheless. Um, so Nene goes after Cynthia, but she further shades her before that by saying if Kenya tells Cynthia to jump, she was going to say how high. Now, this is where I got to get on Nene ass. Nene is jealous of the relationship that Kenya has formed with Cynthia, because there was a time where Cynthia was up Nene's ass, and if Nene said jump, then Cynthia said how high. And I think she's jealous that now Cynthia and Kenya have a bond and they have grown, to have a genuine friendship, and Nene don't know how to take that, because even Candy defended Cynthia in saying that I don't think it's like that. I like their relationship. They kind of, like, Cynthia and Kenya kind of mesh together. They are like, I mean, I don't see an issue with their friendship. And Nene is just jealous because she's the only one that seems to have a problem with that relationship. Um, So Nene goes to get her and asks her why she leaves, and she was like, she's not gonna sit around and let anybody talk about or make fun of Kenya, and she basically says that Kenya has been scrutinized the most for her relationships, and I think it all goes back to her first season on the show when she was with, I think his name was Walter. And he went on the blog saying that Kenya paid him to appear as her boyfriend on the show. So it kind of gave Kenya a bad rep after that. Like, even with the whole Matt situation, like, I think she really liked Matt. I think her and Walter were in a relationship, and he was a man scorned. And so he went on the blogs because he wanted some money and he wanted some attention. So he decided to smear her name on the blogs. And society and people that, tend to see things on the internet, they take them as being the truth when that's not always the case. So then Marlo made a good point, and she said, she was upset about Cynthia getting up from the table, but then she had to stop and ask herself, she said that she had to stop and say to herself, hey, maybe Cynthia is upset because she wasn't invited to the wedding either, and that's supposed to be, her good friend. And that's kind of hurtful. Your friend gets married and you have to find out on the blogs. Like, I think then Cynthia finally opens up and she says, yeah, I would have loved to be there, or, her even at least call and tell me about it. But, I think that's a conversation that her and Kenya are going to have with one another. So that's my take on this episode. It was probably one of the best episodes this season, because this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta started out really, really dry, but it seems to be picking up. So hopefully next Sunday we will get a even better episode than this one. Let me know your thoughts on tonight's episode down in the comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Please tell all your friends. And my name is Yoshi, and you have been kicking it with Yo-Yo. Kicking it with Yo-Yo. Um, I'll be back tomorrow for my Love and Hip Hop New York recap. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.